Hello and welcome to Long Time No See, the podcast, coming to you from Gold Diggers Recording Studios in Los Angeles, California. We'll be getting to know some of your favorite comedians a little bit better, and so will they. Each week's guests have no idea who the other guests will be, so without further ado, please remove your blindfolds and introduce yourselves.
Yes, it's you. I was hoping it was.
Heck yeah. Not with a boring person for an hour. I was so excited that it's Hunter.
What a trust fall exercise, him getting you on this bench.
By the way, the blind. Oh, totally. The fact that I was wearing a blindfold, I was like, this could be an intervention. This could just be a normal podcast. This could be a sex slave dungeon. I was getting a lot of those vibes when he's like, yeah, put those legs up on the bench.
The blindfold is a little too comfortable just to make it a mystery.
You know what I'm impressed about is most blindfolds don't fit me because of the size of my nose. So the fact that you guys went out of your way and did research on these are very,
very comfortable,
very comfy.
No sex dungeon, just a couple dads hanging out.
Yeah.
If you guys could introduce yourselves, and then we'll get into the first question.
You want to go for it?
Sure. Hey, my name is Jeremiah Watkins. I'm a stand-up comedian, an improviser, and many other things like a dad.
Hi, my name's Hunter Hill. I'm a stand-up comic, a husband, a dad, a person learning to juggle, cannot improvise, and I'm a mediocre conversationalist.
All right, here we go. What was your most recent bomb, and how did it compare to your worst bomb?
Oh, I've got one.
Hey, go for it.
We were playing a casino in Baltimore, and the venue forgot to push my audio out into the house for the first 15 minutes of my set for 3,000 people. My wedges were still on, so from my perspective, doing a great job. But only the first 3 rows could hear me, kind of, and I was in purgatory. It was not great. But it was much better than the last time that I bombed, which was actually just in correlation to my material and not a technical difficulty.
Dang. That's not fun.
It wasn't great. I'm sure it didn't happen when Chappelle was there a week later.
Isn't that kind of convenient how it doesn't happen for the bigger guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always interesting.
The bigger guys, I think, get the sound dudes that want to be there.
Does any sound guy want to be there, though, even at Chappelle?
No, I think stand-up is dramatically just kind of overlooked from a tech standpoint. When there's, it's 2 people with a microphone and not a 12-piece band. Let's get the intern on this sold-out show.
I think that happens a lot. Where they're like, whoever we can get to set this thing up, like it's a comic, it doesn't really matter.
I stopped listening at YouTube.
Yeah. I had this isn't a bomb, but this is just more a personal reflection of me with sound and stuff like that. I always go to the venue. I do a sound check at every venue before I go on because I'm always filming and recording sets just in case there's some kind of gold. And at one venue, the owner of the club was giving me a lot of pushback on that I just wanted a sound check. And finally, he gets to the frustrated point where something's on his chest, and I'm like, what's going on? And he goes, you're the first comic that's not a musician that wants a sound check. And I go, well, happy to be your first. Let's do this thing. Let's walk through this.
Did everything work?
Yeah, after
you made
did
sure
the thing. After I did the thing. But anytime a sound guy goes, I got you, they definitely don't got you. Without fail, every single time somebody's like, got you, man.
Yeah.
They're like at the end, they go, I don't know what happened. I do this every week. Like, I don't.
We don't need a sound check. Let's just run off vibes.
Yeah. As far as bombs go, man, I'm trying to think of a real stinker that I had recently. I've gotten to a point where I bomb with grace now, where even if the audience and I come to an agreement that I'm a professional and I know how to bomb now. So I don't filter them in the same way as when I used to when I'm like, it was like devastating when a bomb would happen.
That makes sense. I think the stronger you get, it's almost charming when something doesn't work. Like they're lit in on the process.
I hope they think it's charming. It's still happening, baby. This boy likes to experiment. I don't even call them bombs anymore. I was like, I'm just experimenting. So yeah, I'll try to come back to one specific good story recently where I bombed.
Is there a joke you recently heard you wish you wrote?
Nope, I wrote them all. No, you know what? There's a Fahim Anwar joke that is so funny to me that it's very one of those towing the line jokes where let me not mess up the joke now. He says, he goes, why are you allowed to say something like libtard? You're combining two words where one is very offensive, but then it's 100% okay. Like you're calling somebody a liberal retard. And he goes, you can't do that with the Republican side. You can't call somebody a ragged. Like it's so funny to me. Like that's such a clean, efficient joke to there's such a funny punchline and it's visceral and yeah, it's a recent joke that I saw where I was like, that it made me laugh out loud like watching a clip. I was like, that's great.
Oh man, that's a good one. Danny Jollis has this joke that makes me angry because he wrote it when he got engaged to his fiance.
Okay.
And he got engaged like a year and a half after me. And his fiance said the same exact thing that my wife said when I asked. So I had the runway to find this joke, and I probably used it at a dinner table at some point. But his joke is, I got down on one knee, I asked my wife to marry me, and she said, oh my God, is this really happening? And I said, this was your idea. And that haunts me.
What do you think everyone should try once?
Waiting tables. I think everybody should be required to work in the hospitality industry and take care of people when they're hungry and awful and not who they mean to be.
I think everyone should try something that is out of their comfort zone with spiciness at least one time, because it's if you do it right, it's a euphoric feeling after the pain goes away.
I went to a wedding in Jamaica, and we went to like this little restaurant off the property, and it was dark. We were at somebody's house. It wasn't even a restaurant. It was a restaurant, and there was a garnish, and my friend told me it was a fig and very sweet, and I put the whole thing in my mouth, and it was a ghost pepper, and I ate it, and the owner of the house came up and went, oh no. And he took a milk saucer away from a feral cat and he gave it to me. And I just started eating up this milk as like tears, every fluid that could come out of my body was just unprovoked. Just.
Are you still friends with that person?
Oh yeah, he's my best man. Yeah.
What do you wish you had more time for?
More time for music, for sure. Definitely. I mean, if I had more time in the day, I would definitely be carving out like where I had time to play a dedicated hour or two of music a day. If I really had like a wide open schedule with like whatever I could do, for sure.
I think just being a friend and being able to like tag along on other friends' tours just to hang out.
Oh, now I look selfish.
No, music was good. Yeah.
No, not play with your kids? Great. Great, Jeremiah.
I did not say kids. I've got enough time for work and being a dad. I don't have it.
What inedible thing do you wish you could eat?
Inedible thing?
Mm-hmm.
Baby's foot. Come on, man. We've all wanted to eat baby's foot.
I don't even know. One of those large fake donuts in the Simpsons chunk of the theme park at Universal's.
Oh, that's way more normal than mine.
What's the dumbest thing someone said to you after a show?
Can I make a suggestion? I stop people there. I go, no, you can't. They go, what do you mean? I go, I'm not taking notes. That's something that, like, it has to be, if it's somebody who has a nice demeanor, I'll listen. But if it's if it's the face goes up, that's going to be a negative something. And I'm like, nah, if you didn't like it, that's fine. But I don't need to hear in real time what it was.
No, it's just, yeah. You make me think that I could do stand-up. Yeah, they're trying. They mean to be nice, but
that's
you
pretty
don't know what you just said.
Backhanded. Yeah.
What is one thing people wouldn't believe was true about you?
By the way, some of these questions feel like I'm auditioning to date Hunter later. like when I walked in, I was like, dude, did Jack like become a producer on an MTV show? And I'm walking in.
I just go next.
Yeah. I'm like, dang it. All right, I really lost him on the baby foot thing.
I've webbed feet. I'm not going to show them on camera.
That's only on the Patreon.
My parents met competing against each other on Family Feud.
This guy's a ringer of a guest.
When I was 11, I had the #1 lead role on the #1 Christian musical in the country. I'll show myself out.
I don't know if people. I'm extremely, extremely competitive. To a point where, if we're playing basketball, and I'm not playing at my best, you'll see some inner rage come out of me that you won't see in any other setting. Like some primal, like that kind of thing. And I don't think that a lot of people would expect that out of me, because I'm usually pretty chill for the most part. So when I play with comedians, they see that side, they're like, oh, okay. He's harnessing some demons. I think so.
What was ruined because too many people started doing it?
Crowd work clips.
Oh, yeah. Crowd work clips.
Frick, dude. I was doing it years before. Years before this dumb game. I was doing it so long before everybody else. There's a handful of people that were doing it like for a long time, but like it's ruined the clip game online, because there's so much crap that now even the good stuff is hard to find. That's something for sure. That's like very real. There's way too much crowd work clips.
Also, like, they're conditioning audiences to be disruptive and not like, it's almost like in the 90s where people were so scared of getting called out by a comedian. It's almost like that, where sometimes I feel like audience members are just excited to cause a scene.
I think also, though, it's happening where audience members are afraid to say anything now, though. Even if you're just like making general conversation. I found this at some shows in certain regions. They're like, I know.
Oh,
They
wow.
literally, they don't even want to say anything, because they feel like they might end up in a clip or something. I don't
Lose
know.
their jobs.
Maybe.
Overrated, underrated cities to perform in?
Overrated is hard because we have to go back there. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like, as comics, we have to go back to those cities. So I really don't want to say which cities are overrated and then be like, all right, guys, I'll see you there in 2 months.
When does this,
Hopefully you come out in droves to see me.
when does this come out?
Probably the new year.
The new year? Mm-hmm. Austin, Texas. Most overrated. Boise, Idaho. I loved performing in Boise, Idaho, and never thought it would be up there.
Underrated, Billings, Montana. super fun up there. It's not necessarily a destination spot that comics would think of, but I've had some really, really fun shows up there for sure. Buffalo, New York, I think would be an underrated one. Now, there's some other parts of upstate New York that I'm not going to get into, but I think they know who they are.
What's something you're sick of having to explain?
This is a real one. I don't know if this is relatable to you at all, Hunter, but this is a tough one for me, being a new dad. What's hard about like friendships with certain comedians and friends online is they only bookmark information in a very specific way. So a very common question that I'll get are, how are the kids? And it's a nice question, but I'm just like, do you really want to know? Do you really like comedians? Like, do comedians really want to know how my kids are doing?
No, they don't.
Then you don't have to ask me that. Like, I'm cool with you not caring. I'm cool with us not talking about it.
Yeah,
but just a generic question.
Let's not make the most important thing in my life a throwaway question.
Right. And then somebody more famous walks by. Yeah, I'll see it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Solid foods, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, do they want to know the minutia, the minute details? Yeah. I don't know. That's one for me where I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm being a dick saying that, but I think that's one of those things where, like, if you don't really want to know, you don't have, like, I don't need this. If you're asking this for me, you don't have to do that.
That's a good one. I was going to say, trying to explain to my wife why I'm so tired when I get home every Sunday is a tough one to explain.
That's a hard one because on paper, you only worked for a couple hours.
Yeah. Time of my life.
Right. But the drainage is a different thing. The emotional
The
and
flights, the drainage,
the mental.
the weight, the ticket counts. It's.
Well, I'm in my son is 3 months old now, so I can't say the T word around my wife. Like, it's just like a triggering. Like, if I say I'm tired, like, it's just like it's a hard thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like she's so tired to trying to manage the baby.
Every
and
3 hours she's awake.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
You don't have a leg to stand on.
Mm-hmm.
I will be there. This comes out next year. I'm there now.
Yeah.
If you could recast one of your favorite movies with comedians, who would be in it now?
I would love to see a Lord of the Rings movie with comedians. I would love to see that. I would love to see Eddie Pepitone as Gandalf. Throw the ring in the fire! Just throw it! Get the Eagles and just go out there! I would love to see Tony Baker as one of the elves. I think he'd be awesome for that. I would love to see Rick Glassman as one of the orcs. I would love to see Santino as Legolas. I'd love to see Bobby as Frodo. Samwise, who would be? I mean, my brother Stevie Weeby as Samwise. I mean, that would be such a fun combination. And then who would be Gollum? Who do I cast as Gollum? I might have to cast myself as Gollum, to be honest. Yeah, I'd have to cast myself as Gollum. Yeah.
Oh man, Encanto. Louis Black as the grandmother. Steph Tolev as the sister that can lift anything.
Oh, frick. That's a good one, dude. That's a good one.
Oh, man. Melissa Villaseñor as the cousin that can shapeshift.
That's solid.
Louis C.K. as Bruno. Tony Baker is the kid that can talk to animals because that guy's content is incredible. Tony is so fucking funny. I don't know.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a good start.
I mean, yeah.
Come back to me after the strike.
If you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be?
Oh, I've thought about this a lot. If I could duplicate myself, so I could do all the things that I could play music for a couple hours in the day as like making copies of myself to do the different things, but it's still me. It's not clones. It's a hive mind where I'm controlling. I have a powerful enough brain to send different versions of myself to do the different things that I'm wanting to do. That's the superpower that I would 1,000% do, because then you wouldn't need the ability to fly or teleport, because you could just, take one of yourselves like in the different areas and stuff like that. And, one of my selves would be working really hard. One of them would be playing really hard. One of them would be learning different languages. One of them would be,
I was just going to say a body my wife wants to sleep with. Yours is good too, though.
Thanks, man. I feel like some of our answers
more productive for sure.
Yeah. Well bet.
Worst fad you were into?
Probably Jinko shorts. I never committed to the pants, but the jean shorts. Your boy.
I used to try to do those individual huge spikes. Like where your head only had maybe like 20 spikes on it. Yeah, that's maybe the most. Didn't have the frame for it then. Don't have it now.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was a look.
If you weren't in comedy, what would you be pursuing?
If it couldn't be anything, so maybe not entertainment, not comedy related at all. I would either be somebody who worked at a movie theater. I would do broadcasting, or I would do morning radio. I used to work in morning radio back in the day.
You would crush that.
It was fun. But if you don't want to be doing, a lot of people who are in radio want to be doing other things though. So like, I didn't want to be doing that long term. So I was like, I got to get out of this.
It's kind of the best part of stand up is it's a safety net. Like if you already have this and it can fall into so many other careers. If you can really make it work. Yeah. But if we couldn't do anything comedy related, I would be lost. I don't know. Probably a really quirky Airbnb host.
You'd be great.
Thanks, dude.
Biggest differences between the LA and New York stand-up scene?
Punchlines.
Structure.
No, that's what New York will say for sure. I mean, I think it's a common discussion on podcasts, but it does come down to there's a little bit more in the theatricality. There's a little bit more in the performance. Carries a little bit more weight in LA than in New York.
Yeah, I'm not one to weigh in on this at all, but I always think of New York as more of like a structure, like a 1-2 punch. Yeah. Like down the barrel, writing.
And LA's like not a 1-2 punch, but 1, 2, 3. What if I slapped you? Like it's like just a different combo altogether.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who makes you laugh the hardest?
I mean, my top 3 are always going to be Jim Carrey, Steve Martin, and Chris Farley. Robin Williams, very close to that, but those top 3 are like literally my pyramid of physical comedians that I love.
Yeah, Steve Martin, Billy Crystal, Robin Williams. I haven't seen Baron Vaughn get up in a long time, but he's like somebody like I will watch him cry and then get immensely depressed that my brain will never work like his. Yeah.
He's a good singer too.
Is he really?
Yep. I played some sax with him on the jam once, and he did a David Bowie song, and it was great. Yeah.
Favorite restaurants and what makes them so good?
My favorite Mexican restaurant in Los Angeles is a place called Cactus Taco. It's this little taco stand that their habanero sauce for me, like they've got great Mexican food, their tacos and burritos and everything, but their habanero sauce is the best sauce that I found. And I'm such a hot sauce guy that is literally like, if they take away the sauce, it competes with a lot of other Mexican restaurants in LA, or like in San Diego, wherever your spot is. But their habanero sauce sets it like above like any other spot for me in LA.
I can rifle through a few because I'm a big guy, and I would be bummed out if I forgot some of these. Don Cuco's for Mexican food in Burbank, like right by the Warner Brothers lot. Small, mighty, maybe not like the best Mexican food, but the vibe and the food. Mm-hmm. Good mesh.
Okay.
The Ordinary in Charleston, South Carolina. They do oysters like every single way that you can, and we'll usually try to fly in a day early just so that we can have dinner there, because usually the good restaurants are closed by the time we're done with work.
Yeah.
Saw's Barbecue in Alabama. They have a sweet tea hot chicken sandwich where they marinate the chicken in pickle juice and sweet tea. I'm medically obese. Don't judge me for knowing this much.
I
about
thought we
food.
could only choose one. Don't get me started. I'm a foodie as well. I could.
And the old place in Santa Monica Canyon is just like a wooden shack that's only open on the weekends and does beer, wine, and steaks.
Do you like Kansas City barbecue?
I haven't spent enough time in Kansas to like really dive in. I tour predominantly with Eliza Schlesinger, whose husband is a chef who heads up a popular barbecue restaurant here in LA. So barbecue's never really like the food that we're trying to seek
because
out
he's
on the road.
always what's his style of barbecue? Do you know?
He heads up Bloodsoes on the Brea.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he
Nice.
just won a James Beard Award.
Nice.
So he does everything, but it's never like, man, when do we ever get to have barbecue?
Right. Well, Kansas City Joe's, shout out to them if you're in the Kansas City area. That's my spot.
You just won $1 billion. What are you still not buying?
Twitter shares. Real estate in the metaverse.
Oh yeah, that's pretty solid. There's certain things that I'm not gonna buy the bags that they suggest for you to buy at the grocery store that are not plastic. That cost a little bit more, but they're reusable. I'm buying plastic still. Forever. I don't want more I want to throw the plastic away and fill up the landfills like I want to. All right?
Do you remember the first time you two met?
Was it at the Lyric
I think so.
for Goddamn Comedy Jam?
I think so. I think the first time I saw you, you were doing your musical comedy duo.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It was either that or it was a super secret show. I can't remember which one, but it was at the Lyric for sure where I saw you.
Yeah, I haven't done that in a long, long, long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a Lyric Theater.
Yeah.
I missed that place. Those were...
It was fun. There's a lot of magical shows that went on there.
Yeah, I used to run all the comedy programming for the spot, and my buddy ran all the music. We gave Anderson .Paak his first residency.
Wow.
Yeah, just a chunk of time I'll never get back.
You have to eat 10 pounds of any food in one sitting. What do you eat?
Of any food, like one thing?
It's one thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, one thing.
10 pounds.
I would say, that's hard. 10 pounds is... Because the problem is for me, I have to like it enough where I don't want it to be ruined for me the next time I eat it. Because that's what happens sometimes, because I've done like a lot of weird eating challenges and stuff like that, where when you eat a lot of something, you don't want it for a long time afterwards, because your body's like, it goes back to that memory of when you had like to this day, I still can't eat cilantro because of a violent throw up session that I had after I ate a ton of salsa with cilantro in it, and it literally tastes awful to me. And this is like 20 years later.
That's a fun flex. I've done a lot of food challenges, and I get it. I still can't go back to Boa Steakhouse.
If you follow my content, you know.
I think I would say Fruity Pebbles just so I could see what that much rainbow vomit would look like.
I was thinking of a cereal to maybe do, and it might be Cinnamon Toast Crunch or French Toast Crunch. But I think it might have to be tacos. 10 pounds of tacos, or does it have to be the ground beef in the tacos? How specific do we have to get? Tacos is okay?
Is there a way as a visual we could just get like a graphic of what 10 pounds of tacos would look like?
Because I think that would be the closest I could get to maybe getting it down. Or pizza. Pizza or tacos, I could maybe... Pizza might be the smarter
Pizza's
one
a good
to do.
one. Is there a time allotment on this
It's
10
as
pound?
long as it takes.
Oh.
Oh, this is a weird saw predicament that we're
Sushi, take my time.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'll take 10 pounds of sushi. Actually, sashimi. Wow.
If when you died, you got put into a room for eternity with people who died the same way, how would you want to die?
I think it'd be funny to die in your sleep and just wake up in a room with a bunch of other people who had just fallen asleep.
But then, are you aware that you ever woke up or that you slept eternally? Like, do you think that you're still in a dream because you are talking to people who also fell asleep and you think that they're dreaming as well? Actually, that would be a horrible nightmare for me.
That would be. I think it's just more your approach on the afterlife.
I think it would have to be a definitive thing. I think like heads cut off or something like that, like decapitation.
You want it to be interesting.
I want it to be interesting.
You would judge other rooms.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the old age room. That's the natural causes room down the
You're in
street.
here for that?
Wow. Okay. My heaven looks different than yours.
Yeah.
What pisses you off instantly?
Entitlement. People who take advantage of other people's kindness.
Oh, that's a good one.
That immediately, and I couldn't see that for years. Moving from Kansas to LA, I couldn't see it. And then after a while, I'm like, oh, you're the worst kind of person preying on somebody who's trying to be nice and genuine and kind, and you're taking advantage of that situation. That like infuriates me.
I was going to say vampires, and that's what I meant.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the worst gift you've ever received?
Oh, man.
Can I say this isn't from, well, it was one Christmas. My dad gave the worst gifts. One Christmas, I remember to me and my brother. He got me Spider-Man 3 on Blu-ray, the not good one. And I did not own a Blu-ray player at the time. And this same Christmas, my dad, this is a legendary Christmas of how bad my dad was at gifts. This Christmas, my brother had just lost his sales job, and my dad got him 30 VHS tapes on how to be a good salesman.
Oh.
VHS tapes. So you know where we're at technology-wise in the story. If he's giving me a Blu-ray and he's giving my brother 30 VHS tapes, like, and the best thing
Was it they don't teach it like this anymore?
the best thing about it was my dad individually wrapped them. So my brother is pulling out VHS tapes, and it says number 7 on it. And then it says like number 22, and my brother's like, it like became this weird yarn murder mystery thing where he's trying to locate like how bad he, like by the fifth one in, he goes, I think I know what the next one's gonna be.
What a cool way to learn that you're your dad's favorite.
Yeah, pretty neat stuff.
My dad is a world champion cyclist still, and I weigh 300 pounds, and every Christmas he gives me at-home gym equipment.
Oh,
So
wow.
got a lot of resistance bands in the garage that I should try and use on our conversations.
What's the best conspiracy theory you can make up on the spot?
What if Hillary is Bigfoot? What if? What if she's been seen through all these parks throughout all these years? You know, people already think that she's a lizard. Is it really that far-fetched to think that she's actually Bigfoot? That she's been interrogating these campers to try to get them to vote for her all these years?
Bernie Sanders is an animatronic run by a MIDI pad.
Yeah, I could definitely see him being a character that didn't make it in the Chuck E. Cheese rollout of animatronics. I can see that happening.
Happy birthday. Table 6, your pizza is ready.
What's the perfect show time, and where do you like going in a lineup?
Oh.
The in-town show time?
Yeah, we'll go in town.
I think a perfect showtime is usually around 7:30 to start the show. And I would love to go on like around 8.
Yeah, I think it's advertised start of 7.
Yep.
Comics know to show up at 7:30.
Yeah.
And second or third in that lineup.
Yeah, that's fun.
Do you have a pre-show ritual?
Yeah, I always stretch before I go on stage. Way to loosen up, and also I used to pull muscles when I didn't stretch because I would get too physical or do like a weird act out, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, I should have stretched. And now this is part of my routine before I go on stage.
Question myself and my life choices, and then I go, well.
If you ran into your celebrity crush here in a bar, what would your opening line be?
I'm married.
Pre-marriage. You're
Pre-marriage. Opening line. Celebrity crush. Are you here for the show? Yeah, I would probably. I mean, I might say something like, I don't know what the move is. I think it's better to not say that you know who they are right out of the gate. I think that's a little much. I think that puts you in a fan category right away. So I try to be organic. And anytime I met somebody that's super famous, I rarely tell them like, I love your work or something, unless it's at the very end of the conversation or whatever. But I always think that puts up an immediate, like, that might be a bothersome thing for some people.
Yeah, I wouldn't mention anything that would belittle me in a conversation until maybe years down the road. We've established a relationship.
Sure.
We're comfortable. We got a good rapport.
Yeah.
Now I can let you know that I'm vulnerable and that I've admired you for a long time.
Yeah.
I can't remember how I used to hit on people.
Isn't it weird? I'm like, it's like a stale, like the memories are like cauterized. And
yeah, I think my superpower was just assuming I wasn't going to get laid, and then people would feel safe. I think my superpower was making people feel safe. Which, nice. Wow, just shouldn't have said that out loud. Next year it comes out.
Do you have a go-to on-stage outfit?
I have a belt that I have worn for freaking so many years that fits really, really well, and I'm literally scared to replace it because it fits so well. And if you look closely at some of my, like, dependent on what I'm wearing, that belt is a through line in a lot of those pictures if you look closely. And it's a Vans belt, and people accuse me all the time of it being Gucci, and your boy isn't wearing Gucci, all right? I'm Vans, dude, off the wall, dude, okay? So that's what I wear with like almost every pair of jeans is the same belt, like for every stand-up outfit. Like that I pack on the road, I pack one belt. During the week, I usually wear one belt. It's my through line for everything.
There's a big and tall company out of Montreal, Canada called One Bone, and I just usually wear one of their black T-shirts, and usually this jacket or a jacket like it, so I can hide a microphone on the inside of it.
Oh, that's a good call.
Yeah.
What is something you wish other comedians would stop doing?
Crowd work clips.
I wish comedians would stop making this post on as an X or a tweet, whatever you want to call it now. What are they called now? An X?
I think there's still tweets.
They're still tweets?
I think so.
Are they? Anyway. I wish comedians would stop using this phrasing when they post stuff online. Cincinnati, I'm inside you this weekend. I freaking hate it. We all get it. We've all used it at one point, but can we all agree to stop using it? It's just so like...
Everyone has you. It is.
Dude,
you're
everybody's
showing your
using it.
age as a comedian.
Oh, no, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It's like, do you see what I did there? Because it's like a woman's vagina.
My superpower was making people feel safe.
What job would you be terrible at?
I was one of the worst Starbucks baristas in the history of baristas. Anything where people are dependent on me for that kind of thing, I would be very bad at. So any kind of, if it was a smoothie shop, if it was a bartending gig, anything where time is of the essence, dependent on a skill set that is something that I am not passionate about. I was so bad at Starbucks.
I worked as a sushi chef for 2 months, and I wasn't bad, but nobody wanted to order sushi from me because I was white. And yeah, I think that was like maybe the worst job I could have had, and I was not good. These fat fingers aren't rolling anything good. The rice gets clumpy.
Dude, the sushi roll was that big.
Yeah, it was a burrito before it was cool.
Yeah.
You meet your 13-year-old self, but you can only tell him 3 words. What are the words and why?
I mean, the easy answer would be invest in whatever. Don't give up. That could be 3.
Yeah, don't listen, go.
What changes have improved your life so much you wish you did it sooner?
Buying a nicer pillow. It's something that is not even that huge of an investment. It's literally spending like $100 more on something that doesn't give me neck pain every night. And I slept on bad pillows for like a long time.
Yeah, pillows are so important. I travel with a travel-sized Tempur-Pedic one that rolls up into like a sleeping bag thing in my backpack.
I have a neck pillow that's a hoodie that goes down all the way over my chin.
Oh, yeah.
And literally, nobody's lifting up the hoodie.
Yeah.
Like, it's like this guy does not want to be bothered.
I have a hoodie that makes it look like I'm being taken to a black site, for sure.
Yeah.
I think I bought elastic shoelaces for all of my Converse high tops to make all of my high top shoes slip-ons at airport security. Love that.
You're not TSA pre-check?
I am now, but I mean, yeah.
How long did it take you to get TSA pre-check?
Like 5 years.
That's
It's
insane.
expensive. And
no, it's not. It's $80 for 5 years.
No, I thought it was like $350. Did it get cheaper?
No. I've
been telling
any comedian,
myself for years.
any comedian that doesn't have it, who's an actual traveling comic, I literally look at it and I'm like, you're insane if you don't like.
No, I've got clear, pre-check, global entry. Yeah, now.
We get it now.
But before, I was really relying on. I'm a big guy. Just leaning down to untie those shoes. That's a breathing exercise.
I know. That's why you get TSA pre. You never have to kick them off.
Now, yeah. Well, sometimes you go through pre and there's still metal in your shoe or something like that. Weirdly, Birkenstocks will still set them off.
We wear different kinds of shoes.
Yeah.
Birkenstocks will really set off.
It's bizarre.
We got a hippie on our hands. We're going to get him back up here.
Tell him it's the shoes.
We got another Portland resident who's unruly over here in the TSA pre-check line.
Do either of you believe in ghosts?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any ghost experiences?
I got one.
I would love to hear it. I'm all about ghost stories.
I took a trip with my now wife to meet her parents for the first time. They were hyper conservative, so they didn't want us sleeping in the same room at their house. And Ashton wasn't going to make me sleep in a different room in her parents' house who I'd never met. So her dad, to be like the cool dad, got us a hotel room at the Montecito Inn in Santa Barbara. And I woke up in the middle of the night, like terrified, went to the bathroom, splashed water in my face, fell back asleep. Later in the night, woke up again, scared, but got to the foot of the bed because I was going, it's like, this is not going to translate. You got every hotel room is like bedroom, short hallway, front door, bathroom hidden. I got to the foot of my bed and there was a silhouette in that hallway. And I was awake enough to like stop and like not want to freak out my sleeping girlfriend that I just started dating. And she woke up, asked what's wrong. And she turned on the lights, nothing there, fell back asleep. And later in the night, I felt somebody tugging my leg and like goosebumps, couldn't move. In the morning, I went to Google and I just typed in Montecito Inn and the first drop down was haunted. And the Montecito Inn was built by Charlie Chaplin. So now I like to think that Charlie Chaplin was pulling my leg in the middle of the night. And there's lots of ghost stories about him doing stuff like that. It's not like me, like,
Well,
why am I here?
him knowing you're a comedian too.
Yeah, I was a young enough comic that it's probably all I could talk about out loud was that I was a comedian.
So I'll tell a ghost story that's because you said hotel, because I had one that happened. I've had a couple happen in hotels. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's just like a lot of unsettled energy or whatever it is. If you believe in ghosts, whatever. I was in Ireland and I was rooming with Joel Jimenez, and in the UK, the beds they're so much smaller than what we're used to for American beds. Like a single in the UK is almost half, I feel like. Maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's way, way smaller. You're not able to like roll
Smaller
around
than
that
a
much.
twin.
Smaller than a twin. Yeah. Late at night in Ireland, we're at this very, very old hotel, like in the Dublin area. And Joel he has his back turned the other way, towards this side of the wall, and I'm sleeping like this towards the door of the hotel room. I can see the only thing that is coming in is the light from the hallway. I look over and there is what appears to be somebody standing like this under, like, do you know what I mean? The shadow is like that. And then it goes away. And as I'm like this, staring at the wall, you know, when your wife gets into bed or somebody else like gets into a bed next to you, I felt handprints right behind my back, pushed down right next to me because I was sleeping on my side on that little bed, and I was just frozen in fear. And that was one that happened. And then one happened in Cincinnati. I was checking into a hotel in Cincinnati, and I stay in a lot of different places. I know what air conditioner sounds are like kicking on and off. as I started to open my hotel room door, behind the door, I heard, and I was already delayed for my flight, and I was like, oh no, I'm staying in a haunted room. And I wheeled my bags in and quickly backed up, and I had to go to the venue, and it didn't mess with me the rest of the weekend, but like I felt a horrible like shiver of bad energy go down as soon as I heard that, and I was like, I'm freaking staying in a haunted room, but I don't have time to deal with this right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've had that hand thing before, but never a growl.
Yeah, it was the first time. Well, no, I've heard a couple growls, which is weird. Yeah, I've had a couple weird energy things happen with what I believe to be ghosts.
We used to live in a house off a canyon road, and my sisters were playing with a Ouija board one time. And
Nope.
I've never done it. I will never touch one.
I told my wife, I go, you could cheat on me and we can talk about it. Ouija board, if I come home and your hands are on a Ouija board, I'm freaking done. I'm freaking done. I'm packing, I'm moving. I don't want that energy in my life.
Double nope if the board tells me about the affair. we were playing with this board, and my sisters, because I wouldn't touch it, started talking to a boy who said he died in a car crash, and there was some gnarly things in our, like, I would go sleep in. I didn't have a room in the house because my stepdad and I had a weird relationship, and he didn't want me living there. But all of our door handles would jiggle, and I would like just go sleep on floors in other parts of the house. And I was telling my friends this story and all the details about this kid who we were talking to through the Ouija board. And my friend's dad was like, I used to own a house off that road that I bought from parents who had just lost their son in a car accident, and like described, without hearing everything I was talking about. And yeah, that was a cool one.
When my mom hears stories like this, she has this thing that I always think of because I just got chills. She goes, I am freezing right now. I am freezing.
What would constitute a perfect day for you?
I think perfect days are very much dependent on what part of your life that you're in. If it's a current perfect day, I think sleeping in to a point, I want to say like a 10 a.m., having like a breakfast with my family, going to go play basketball, maybe playing some music, doing some writing, maybe lunch with a friend, dinner with family, stand-up shows, going to play pool and a late-night diner with friends at the end of the day.
That's a good one. Great point, too, about what a perfect day looks like. Right now, I think it would be waking up at Disneyland with a babysitter to like enjoy. I haven't taken my kid to Disneyland yet, so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
But I would want someone else there to like actually run point so that I could just enjoy the memory instead of having to manage the memory. That followed by a sold-out show, and then diner, and then maybe just like drinking and playing video games with friends until I fall asleep, like I used to. Also, all of this assumes that I have the energy to do all of that in one day.
That's the thing.
Maybe I start with Vyvanse. I wake up.
I know. Yeah, and also like if I can, in that perfect day, if I could sneak in, playing with my kids at some point, but also a sex sesh with the wife. You know what I mean? I left sex out of the perfect day. What are you thinking, Jeremiah? What are you thinking, man?
All right, last question. When was the last time you cried of laughter?
I think as comedians, I think we have a big luxury of laughing way more than the average person. I think that that's honestly one of the best perks of the job, despite the struggle of like wherever you're at on the comedic scale. I think that we get to laugh so much more than the average person. Yeah. That's such like a blessing. I laugh with different podcasts that I do. My co-host of my podcast, Stevie Weeby, he's made me laugh till I've cried like pretty recently on stuff. And then just some like just like late nights and stuff, hanging out with like comedians and stuff like that, where the bit is just so it just keeps going, or it's just so funny that causes tears. Oh no. Oh, this made me laugh till I cried. This is the most recent one. My dad called me, and I don't know if I can really say this. I'll say it. I'll say a nice version. My dad's wife caught him looking at something he shouldn't have been in his garage, and he was maybe or maybe not in the act of doing something. And my dad called me, and I kept asking him for details, and I was shooting tears out of my eyes as I was out of town on the road in a hotel room, just dying laughing, because we're at a point in our relationship where I'm an adult now, so he's way more candid than he would have ever been with me as a kid. My dad, he was very strict with me growing up. I grew up in a very conservative household and very religious household. So the stuff that he was saying on the phone was literally the antithesis of my childhood. So it just hit so hard. It was like such a great punch to the gut. I was like ugly crying, like as I'm like kicking my legs alone in my hotel room on the road as my dad called me.
Oh man. I don't think I'll ever have that relationship with my dad. I was in New Zealand recently, and I was telling this story a little bit before the podcast, but I took a microdose of mushrooms and then went out onto a beach in New Zealand and just got the shit kicked out of me by the wind, where like sand was just like sticking to my face and everything was going horribly wrong. But I couldn't stop laughing at just how hard I was trying to have a good day. just real showing up.
That's funny.
Putting the work in.
And I thought New Zealanders beat you up at first. I was like, whoa.
No, very sweet people.
Get out of here.
Yeah. An animated Kiwi.
Right, yeah.
All right, that's the show. Thank you guys for doing it.
Thank you guys for having me.